Hey, what's up guys? Yes, New Year 2023. Happy New Year. This car might look familiar from my social media platforms. I think I posted a video of the Honda BRV launch. This is the new Honda BRV and it's a 2022 model, but it's definitely a new look. And if this is your first time watching, my name is Fakir and welcome to my channel. Can you hear that? That is a CVT transmission. So, am I the biggest fan of CVT? No. Can I get used to it? I can. So the new Honda BRV, previously also a BRV and then the Mobilio, is your MPV kind of a vehicle. It's an SUV, and you know everybody in South Africa wants an SUV, and people also like 7-seater vehicles. So the MPV and the SUV kind of collided and came up with this new Honda Honda BRV. And the new Honda BRV is, this specific model is the Elegance model. So you are going to get your alloy wheels and your interior, your leather seats. They are all 1.5 litre engines, and you can get it in manual. Your entry level model is going to cost you around 379,900 Rand, and this specific Elegance model with all of the Honda sensing, which I'll touch on later, is going to cost around 459,900 Rand. So that is quite a hefty or bigger amount than your, for example, your competitors like the Suzuki Ertiga or the Toyota Rumion, for example. But it's definitely feeling a bit more elegant, and it's all in the name. Looking under the hood, let's see if I can get all the numbers right. One thing I realized about the past 2 years is that I have to memorize a lot of numbers. So under this hood, you've got a 1.5 litre engine. It's your iVTEC, your Honda engine, and it gives you 89 kilowatts of power and 145 Newton meters of torque. I think I definitely got that right. Boot capacity, you're looking at 223 liters of boot capacity, and this being the Elegance model, you do have leather interior. The leather interior, however, is not genuine. I think it is artificial. I'm not sure if it's vegan leather because I do know that's trending, but you do have a beautiful leather steering wheel, and I must say that the steering wheel is quite the looker, and it's very comfortable. It is adjustable, and you also have the pedal shift on the side of the steering wheel, which is giving you that kind of sportier experience if you do put it on that mode. Yeah, you do have your Honda sensing on this vehicle in terms of security. You've got your 4 airbags. Your Honda sensing is, of course, your extra additional cameras and your proximity sensors around the vehicle. So, you know, like when you are in traffic, you'll get a sensor or a notification to say that, you know, okay, a vehicle started in front of you, you can now continue driving. And then also when you indicate on your left hand side, which they've identified as your specific blind spot, there's no camera on the right, but your infotainment system will automatically switch to the camera on your blind spot. And then you can also manually activate that by the push of the button on your indicator lever. So that's also something like nice and part of your Honda Sensing Pack. Now the Honda Sense Pack is only available on the top tier models. On this Elegance, of course, you do have all of that extra bells and whistles, like I mentioned, that Honda Sensing and your leather interior. Something really cool I must mention is you do have power socket in the back for the passengers, but you also have your power socket in the front, and then 2 ports, one USB port for charging, and then a USB port also for your USB-A port also for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Looking at the interior also, I must mention that you do have your like a plush finishes. It feels kind of executive, or kind of, you know, it's a bit of a fancier Uber car, or if you want to call it an Uber car. It's very much a step above the Rumion, you know, which is a definite competitor. The ceiling is also quite high, which I am an absolute fan of. Then you've got your push to start also, which is really nice, and yeah, I'm always a fan of that. So yeah, you definitely can do that, and you also have your keyless entry and those buttons on the handles of the front car doors. Also about the dash and the interior, I want to mention that the infotainment system, a bit of a con, or something I don't like, is that it feels a bit dated. It doesn't feel like it goes with the car. You've got this nice steering wheel and all of your function buttons on your steering wheel, which is very, very nice. But I'm not a fan of the way the infotainment system, it doesn't feel like a reserve, especially if you look at it from the buttons of the cooling system, and then it flows up onto the infotainment system. It feels a bit like a cheapish tablet. It doesn't really blend seamlessly. Also, the drivers, the dials for the drivers is also very nice, and I do like the mixture between digital and your analog dials, so that's really cool. As you can see, you get I'm specifically getting 7.6 or 8 liters per 100 kilometers, but Honda, of course, it does advertise that you can get up to 6 liters or 6.4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is of course excellent. Have I gotten that? No. Am I specifically driving to be extra cautious with fuel? No, I'm not doing that either. This car, you don't see many of it on the road, and the reason for it is because, in my personal opinion, everybody wants an SUV, and I think an MPV is not gonna give you that feeling like, oh, you've got a family vehicle. It's more like you've got a family vehicle, but you also have like a taxi kind of vibe going on, and I think that's why you don't see many of these cars on the road. I do, however, think that the car is decently priced. If you're looking at 379,000, I would want an automatic vehicle, but yeah, if you obviously on a budget, 379 starting, you can obviously go for a maybe a Renault Kiger or something just below like 300,000 rand. You can even get a Toyota Urban Cruiser. It's not going to give you that extra space, but it's going to give you that SUV, and I guess also the boot capacity will definitely be a little bit higher than that. Something I do also like is the passengers at the back. Of course, you've got that extra seat belt for the center seats, but what I do like is that you actually have an armrest, and the armrest is, yeah, you can use the armrest, which is nice, and usually that you always get you don't always get on all your vehicles, so that's very nice. But what I also like is that port is very friendly, of course, for people that want, especially now with load shedding, if you want to charge on the go. And then that's also convenient if you are considering this as a business vehicle for 7-seaters, or like I mentioned, like a passenger vehicle. But it's also convenient. What's also convenient is that you get your cooling system at the back as well for the passengers to control that, and that can work independently. I think for me, something I also would nitpick, you do get this extra 7-seat, but I don't like that you don't get a parcel shelf. Now for me, we do live in South Africa, and if you don't have a parcel shelf in South Africa, you can't hide your laptop in the car, in the boot, you can't hide your shopping, your groceries, your tablet or your work bag, whatever it is that you want to put in the back seat. And especially with a small boot, you obviously gonna need to extend that boot space, so you're gonna want to drop down 2 seats at the back when you don't need the 7-seater vehicle, but you're not gonna get the parcel shelf. So that's definitely, from a user functionality perspective or from a buyer's opinion, I would definitely give that a no. Something I also want to mention, because I did get flack on another video before, is cup holders. So this car does have cup holders, and it also got like a bottle holder, cup holders for your passengers at the rear, and it also has a power output or insert socket at the back of the vehicle, which is really cool. I guess if you are going camping or if you have something like that, yeah, if you want to make use of that, that is definitely a big plus. So this car is definitely for a bigger family, or for your businesses that want to maybe like transport so many people, or yeah, I think it's for a specific use case. Is there a market for it? Yes, I definitely do think so, because there are always MPVs, and there are always there's always vehicles where people want to have 7 people fit in. And yes, you can, and you're not always wanting to buy the Fortuner, for example. This car out of the box has the seats, and you're gonna get a boot. Decent, I don't know. Can you fit a pram in? No, I wouldn't say you can fit a pram in with the seats up, but yeah, it's definitely a nicer looking vehicle, especially with that chromatic finish of the grille in front. I'm a big fan of the new look. And yeah, if this is your first time watching, don't forget to like, subscribe. My name is Muhammad Fakir. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me on my social media handles for more opinions from a regular guy about cars and tech, because I love that too. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye now.